"My dear friend," he said, "I understand your concerns, but remember what our Stoic teachings tell us. We cannot control the external world, but we can control our reactions to it. Let us approach this situation with wisdom and virtue." Lucius, though skeptical, respected Marcus's wisdom and agreed to stay and discuss the matter further. Marcus began to share a story from his own life, a tale that had shaped his Stoic philosophy. Years ago, Marcus had been a successful merchant, known for his wealth and extravagance. He lived a life of luxury, surrounded by material possessions. However, despite his riches, he felt a profound emptiness within him. He realized that his pursuit of wealth had led him away from the path of virtue. One day, while sailing on a lavish ship filled with exotic goods, a violent storm arose, threatening to capsize the vessel. Marcus watched as his precious cargo was tossed into the unforgiving sea. In that moment of chaos, he clung to a wooden plank, his life hanging in the balance. As the storm raged on, Marcus had an epiphany. He understood that he had no control over the tempestuous sea, just as he had no control over the external events in his life. The only thing he could control was his reaction. He decided to let go of his attachment to wealth and material possessions and focus on cultivating virtue and inner peace. People had learned to face adversity with Stoic resilience. They understood that external events were beyond their control, but their reactions were not. They embraced the Stoic virtues of courage, wisdom, justice, and self-discipline. One could always find serenity through the practice of Stoicism, that in the face of life's challenges, it is our inner strength and virtue that provide the greatest source of tranquility. As a slave, he had no control over his fate, subjected to the whims and commands of his owner. But within the young boy's heart burned an indomitable spirit, a thirst for wisdom, and a longing for freedom that even the chains of servitude could not extinguish. His path to wisdom began when he was purchased by a wealthy Roman named Epaphroditus, who recognized the spark of intellect within the young slave. It was under the guidance of his new owner that Epictetus was introduced to the teachings of Stoic philosophers, a philosophy that would forever change the course of his life. But in the pages of Stoic writings, he found solace and strength. The works of Epictetus, Seneca, and other Stoic thinkers became his mentors, guiding lights through the darkest of nights. Through these writings, he began to internalize Stoic virtues: wisdom to discern what was within his control, courage to accept what was not, justice to act virtuously, and self-discipline to master his desires and emotions. These virtues were not mere intellectual exercises, but principles that would shape the very core of his being. Epictetus's transformation was not merely philosophical, it was a profound shift in mindset. He came to understand that true freedom was not the absence of external constraints, but the mastery of one's own desires and emotions. He famously said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." His teachings emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control, the choices we make, and our responses to external events. One of his most enduring works, the Enchiridion, or Manual, distilled Stoic wisdom into practical advice for daily life. Epictetus's teachings, marked by their simplicity and applicability, have continued to inspire generations of individuals seeking inner peace and virtuous living. Regardless of external circumstances, we can cultivate inner strength and freedom through the choices we make. The realization that our true power lies not in changing the world around us, but in changing ourselves, in mastering our own minds, and in finding contentment and freedom in the face of life's adversities. Power and the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. He believed that even in the most corruptive environments, one could maintain inner tranquility and ethical integrity. It was during this time that he wrote many of his letters and essays, which explored Stoic philosophy in the context of power and politics. One of Seneca's key teachings was the Stoic acceptance of the brevity of life. He urged his readers to make the most of their time, to cultivate wisdom and virtue, and to live in accordance with nature. His writings on anger, in particular, offer profound insights into the human condition and the importance of emotional control and inner life were paramount, even in the face of external challenges. In his letters, he often wrote about the need for self-examination and self-improvement, echoing the Stoic idea that true wealth is found in virtue, resilience, wisdom, and the pursuit of virtue, even in the most challenging of circumstances. In the end, philosophy is not merely an intellectual pursuit, but a practical guide to living a meaningful and virtuous life, even amidst the complexities of the human condition.